So the good news is everyone gets a row to themselves. It's wonderful. I just came back from the busiest place on earth, Disney World. And this is exactly when you've been to a place that's so crazy like that. If you can come to a nice, quiet place like this, it's perfect. So we have a really quiet service tonight. I have Paul with me. Cantor, it's a real blessing. All of her daughters are in town. And I did see on Facebook they were all wearing Bills paraphernalia. So I don't know how she done it. We've converted them to Bills fans, apparently. Let me get my towels on. How was everyone's Thanksgiving? Are you digesting? Thanksgiving is a beautiful, hard holiday, and chance to come together. Can be sad for some, and I think brings up a lot of emotions for most of us. And I'd actually like to begin with a reading from the Reconstructionist prayer book. They specifically have some readings for Thanksgiving, and I think this one really demonstrates kind of the bittersweet nature of the holiday, and it's about immigration, being from coming here as an immigrant, and what that means for your experience of a new country. They actually have in this prayer book readings for all the different American holidays. So this one is by Pearl Kazin. And if you're anyone from New York, I know a couple people from New York here. At PS 125, I think in Brooklyn. As soon as October was folded back on the calendar, we began paying intense, if somewhat baffled, homage to the glories of Thanksgiving. Most of us were the children of immigrants from Vilna or Minsk or Odessa, who rarely budged from Brooklyn, and we had to sing loud our praises for the gathering of the harvest and the prodigal bounty of the land as the trolley cars clanged by under the windows. Day after day, we devoted ourselves to that old American holiday, first conceived, we were told, in a bleak place called New England by the Pilgrims, also known as ancestors. These ancestors spoke English without an accent, did not have to pass through Ellis Island when they reached the Golden Land, and had come to these shores to escape from religious persecution. We labored intently making the first Thanksgiving. The huge Pilgrim family at an enormously long table in the clearing they had courageously hacked out of the ominous New England forest. With crayons and paints, we smeared a lavish forest. There was a song we sang only in November. We gather together and to ask the Lord's blessing. He chastens and hastens his will to make known. We sing it with loud and cheerful assurance as Miss Johnson thumped away on the piano. Like Christmas carols, this Thanksgiving hymn had the lore of the forbidden. I would come home in November afternoon with my face hectically pink from the autumn air and the grandeur of Thanksgiving, and sing We Gather Together until my mother, who would be working on a dress for me or one of her customers and never seemed to be listening, would suddenly hear the Lord's blessing and exclaim, "What kind of song is this for a Jewish girl to sing? Stop this minute. It's not nice. Somebody should hear you." For weeks before the holiday, I brought the same lament home from school every afternoon. "But Mama, why can't we have turkey for Thanksgiving like everyone else?" "Who's everyone?" my mother would say, without taking her eyes from the sewing machine. "The Fanes eat turkey in Thanksgiving. Doris Levine's mother goes to the Subway to buy a turkey. God knows where Thanksgiving." "Oh, honest to God, Mama, you're always making me believe you don't understand one single word I'm saying. I mean like Americans have on Thanksgiving, not that dopey Doris." I knew it was useless to argue. I knew it before I began to try, but something urged me every November to try just this once more. How easy it seemed, how easy and beautiful and right as I pictured it, mooning in my room. The round table in the living room swelled with 2 leaves dragged out from behind the sofa, only it's at Passover time. At 4 p.m, all the guests would assemble. This day would differ from other days because on Thanksgiving, my brother and I would be glad to see our cousins, who for a change would not say, "What do you have to take dopey violin lessons for?" And after we had all kissed each other sweetly, we would sit down in cheerful smiles around the jolly table, set exactly the way they showed in the ladies' home journal. After we sang, we gathered together. My mother would march in from the kitchen at just the right moment, holding the enormous steaming brown bird aloft on a silver platter, which she placed reverently in front of my father, poised and ready with a carving knife handed down, of course, by ancestors. Then Papa would begin to carve with magnificent, effortless skill, an art taught to him by his father, who had learned it from his father. It's a sweet story, right? It's imagined Thanksgiving from an immigrant whose family didn't really know Thanksgiving, was just adapting and didn't know turkeys and didn't have the experience. And I just imagine Pearl in her future home when she had her children or grandchildren doing exactly what she had wanted as a youth and creating this magical Thanksgiving. So to Pearl, happy Thanksgiving. So we welcome everyone here. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, we really have to belt it out here. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. All right, Paul, let's do Hine Ma Tov on 128. How wonderful it is for us to be together. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov, Hine Ma Tov, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. Hine Ma Tov, Hine Ma Tov, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Sheila, would you do the honor of lighting our candles? Because they're very far away from me. They don't want me to play with fire here.
I'm not a very good match.
Well, hopefully it will go well. And if not, we'll help you out. We'll pray for you there. The candle blessing is on page 120. It's got to be better than the ones we have at home. And available at the gift shop. There we go, see? Miracle. When we light the matches, it's as if our home is here. We've magically been transported. Let's bring in the candles, bring in the Shabbat light, and the warmth and joy of the holiday. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed is the match that lights the Shabbat candles and lights our way through Shabbat. Sheila, if you could lift up the Kiddush cup there. Kiddush is on page 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen. We say l'chaim, to life, l'chaim, and to a good vintage. Okay, you're our poison tester there. Looks okay. So thank you, Sheila. Yesher koach. We see, we got a laugh track here. It's perfect. You might have noticed I substitute a couple of words that I think are particularly important on Thanksgiving week. We normally say the words Kivana v'charta v'etanu kidashta mikol hamim, that shows us from the other nations. But I have a tradition, and we have a tradition in our household of saying, instead of mi kol amim, im kol amim, which is a slight difference. So instead of from the other nations, so separated us from the other nations, that included us, chose us along with the other nations. And I think on the holiday of Thanksgiving and on Black Friday, I think it's important to note that we are all one. And I did find in my tie rack this beautiful American tie created by a child somewhere that has different ethnicities and all the nations together, which is, I think, what I think of in the prayer itself. Let's turn to L'Chadodi, page 138, as we welcome in Shabbat officially into the room. Our custom is to sing the first 3 verses, and then on the 9th verse we rise and we face the doorway where Shabbat is lurking over there like a bride, and we welcome her into the room as we celebrate. Actually, before we start, we were very blessed in my family. My nephew got married in Israel on Thanksgiving, because Thursday is a very good day to get married. Thanksgiving is not an Israeli holiday, so it was quite perfect. And while we were not in Israel, we did get to view it on Facebook Live. He married, it's our nephew Shai, who is an officer in the Israeli army in the paratroop division. And he married Hani, who both of them were raised in America and living in Israel now. So wonderful, in Jerusalem. So without further ado, we're going to imagine Hani walking into here. And she had a little debate with her father about what type of dress, and she won. She got a short sleeve dress. So we'll imagine Shabbat coming with short sleeves. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem tiferet v'tila. Everyone, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor habracha, Merosh mikedem nisucha, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומיצי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט פעמך בך, הוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי חלה. Welcome one another. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. I think this is one of the few times where we could actually shake everyone's hand. And no, I will. It's not a requirement, but if you are able, and Paul's over there if you want to shake his hand. See, when you're all together, it feels crowded. Page 145, we can remain standing. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine sets my ways. And we turn on 146 for the prayer of community, the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamivorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach, leolam vahed. And let's turn to page 149. We'll read together in English the bottom paragraph. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, God, who brings forth the evening. Page 150, we think about love of family and community as we sing Avat Olam. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu V'shokvenu v'kumeinu Nasiach b'chuchecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha U'v'mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orak yameinu Ve'orak yameinu Uvahem nehem Yomam v'layla. V'yavtecha al tasir mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. On the next page, 152, 153. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. I'd like to invite up Adam Miter over here, 154, to lead us in the Via Hafta.
V'yavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol miodecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And let's read together the English translation on 155, I think important note for Thanksgiving weekend. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway at your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. With that in mind, we move to the Michamocha, page 158. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh. No ratehilot osefele, no ratehilot osefele. Malchutecha rahu vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zeli anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, leolam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov v'golo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Ka'al Yisrael. Page 162 at the top, Vishamru. Let's celebrate Shabbat. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, L'Toratam berito olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, L'Toratam berito olam. B'nei uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti li'olam, oti le'olam, Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'Doratam Berith Olam Ki Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai Et HaShamayim V'et HaAretz Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'Dorotam Berith Olam U'v'yom HaShvi Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'Dorotam Berith Olam. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song in the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song of the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. I invite you to rise 164 as we'll continue through the Amida out loud through page 170. Adonai sifatai tivtai ufi agidilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Vanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo B'yahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalchel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Sohomek Noflim V'Rofech Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Gvurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memi to Mechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh v'kadoshim b'kol yom yolu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We continue quietly through the Oseh Shalom on page 180. Through page 180, and whenever you're ready, you may be seated. shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'himru amen. Ose shalom bimrama hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us and all Israel and all who inherit the earth. Those words are particularly important here on Thanksgiving, and I'm going to bring out a sign that I showed you on High Holy Days. One that I haven't put back in our front here. Hate has no home here. Wonderful sentiment, and I think usually it's kind of saying a couple things, right? It's saying when people are putting it outside of a worship space like this, it's saying this is a home, and hate is not welcome. But it has particular significance on this Black Friday. It's not such a nice word, Black Friday, but on Black Friday and on Thanksgiving, this is the time of camaraderie and also conflict. You might have noticed in the paper, on the news, anywhere you looked, lots of things how to avoid conflict at your Thanksgiving table. Did anyone notice that? It's amazing. Every year they do it. And every year they make it like it's only true about this year. That only this year is there potential for conflict at the table. And of course, the conflict today is usually the P variety, not the R variety. Politics and not religion. It could go either way at different times, but we have lots of political arguments, and all the different commentators and authors go up to share what they think you should do. And I noticed this year that there were two basic answers to the question of how to avoid conflict at your Thanksgiving table. The first, which was the most common, and it's the one if you look back in 2018, 17, 16, I saw all the way back to 2000, which is quite incredible because, when you're looking on the internet, 2000 that's like BCE in internet terms. That's like prehistoric, pre-iPhone or something. So anyways, the basic rule of thumb that they say is just avoid it altogether. So try not to bring it up. Is this, by the way, is this something that anyone here sees as a problem at their Thanksgiving tables? Did this come up at all? Yeah, I think that's good to know. That I think they put it out there, and it's true, but it's more sensational. I think at this point, most things, people kind of know how to navigate, I think anytime there's a changing of the political structure, when you have new presidential election, there's a lot of sorting out. But we're kind of towards the end of one cycle, moving towards another cycle. So I think it's well sorted out. I know certain conflicts really do enter into every Thanksgiving or any kind of holiday. I remember being back in Israel during the Second Intifada, and this was a particularly horrendous time in the year 2000, and the prehistoric time of the internet. Back then, I did have a cell phone, but it did not have, believe it or not, Adam and Noah, you could not do anything but make calls with your cell phone. Maybe if you're lucky, you could text. I just need to share it for them because they never remember that time. I don't think. I think that's before their birth. Back there in 2000, 2001, it was a horrendous time. Right around November, it started in October, but there were a lot of integrated couples, Arab, Jewish, we'd say, and divorces popped up out of nowhere because the conflict was so intense and you couldn't avoid it. And I kind of sense any conflict that's within society, I mark it by that, because that was so intense that during that year I went over to Greece, to Rhodes, and with a bunch of Israelis. It was an Israeli tour, and when I got there, they had CNN on the hotel, and of course the Israelis wanted to get as far away from the conflict because it was with them literally every second of every day. And so when they talk about conflict here, it seems like we're at a 2, comparison to where it could be. But it is kind of amusing, and I did notice Stephen King piping in. Stephen King, anyone a Stephen King fan here? I noticed one of my friends, we were over for the Liebermans. We were over for Thanksgiving. Ian had gotten out a new Stephen King novel. I hadn't read one since I was your age. In high school, I used to read a lot of them. But he still has been writing since then, quite incredible. But he also is in the Twitterverse, and apparently does a lot of politics there. But he did offer some advice. He said, I have 5 words of advice of how to get out of any conflict. And if you know of Stephen King at all, then you know he's a big Boston Red Sox fan. He's from Maine and New England region, and so his answer is 5 words, and let me see if I got it right. How about we talk about baseball? That was his 5 words. How about we talk about baseball? So it was basically a way to steer the conversation another way. Judaism actually offers a lot of advice about conflict. And this portion in particular is a very provocative one when it comes to conflict. So I thought we would look at some lessons, and I'm going to teach you the 5 words in Judaism. There's 5 words, actually, that the rabbis taught to really understand conflict and how to avoid it, or not to avoid it. They never would say to avoid it, but how to prevent it from reaching a situation that was out of control. Because conflict, they understood, is ingrained in the human genome. And actually we know it from this Torah portion that we'll read in just a couple minutes. In the Torah portion, which is Toldot, it is about the birth of Jacob and Esau. And Jacob and Esau, you might know, are 2 brothers who, unlike Adam and Noah, don't get along at all. And it is so bad that it actually starts before they're born. And we're not going to read the words, but it's right after the section I'm going to read. It talks about how when Rebecca was pregnant, and she had a difficult time getting pregnant with the twins, they were moving around a lot. Now, I understand people with twins, it's not necessarily so uncommon. You got a lot of babies in there, and they might be moving around a lot, but I guess this was unusual. So much so that it felt like they were at war. She says, "Vayitratzetsu." They were almost warring with each other in her belly. And she's so upset about it, she actually goes to God. And she says, "God, what is going on? If it's going to be like this, then why be pregnant at all? I mean, I don't want, it's like I have a war in my womb." And God says, "Don't worry. You have two very strong-minded young men that are going to be born from you, and each of them is going to be the head of a different nation. And they're going to be at war, but each of them is strong and has a very firm, strong journey ahead, and it will be worth your while to have it." But I felt like it's a very provocative question, because we still don't really have an answer, which is conflict ingrained? Does it start even before we're born? When you have siblings here, they're actually fighting within the womb itself. So the question is if it's good conflict or bad conflict. And that's kind of what we're going to look at. So the portion begins with the words, Ve'ela toldot Yitzchak. Okay, these are the generations of Isaac, because this is about Isaac's story. Abraham and Sarah have died, and now we have Isaac and Rebekah's story. But this word ve'ela is really, when you hear it, and if you know anything about the Talmud, there are these 5 words which it instantly takes you to, which is about how we deal with conflict. When we think about conflict, there are 2 individuals that come to mind, Hillel and Shammai, right? Hillel and Shammai were rabbis that they always disagreed with one another. They lived roughly the time of Jesus, around the destruction of the Second Temple there in the Roman times. Let's say, the beginning, the first century CE. And they had vigorous debates with one another. And unfortunately, Shammai always lost the debates, and Hillel always won. And you would think that Hillel would say, "I told you so." But Hillel wasn't like that. Hillel represented love. That's why the college organizations are called after Hillel. So Hillel and Shammai, even though they disagreed vociferously, and not only they, but the generations that came after them, the schools, because they were the heads of a school, and then after they died, their teachings continued as good teachers continued. So these schools had big debates, and some of these debates had to do with very important things which could cause huge conflict. Okay, we know some of the basic ones. When to light the Hanukkah menorah, right? Shammai says you should start with 8 and go to 1, and we go like Hillel, start with 1 and you go to 8. That's a big debate, and during Hanukkah time, you would see the Shammai people and the Hillel people, and you would feel a little uncomfortable. But that is really nothing compared to some of their other arguments. Some of their other arguments have to do even with identity. They tell the story. One particular story is that Hillel allowed this one rabbi, Hyrcanus, as was his name, to observe Sukkot by sitting inside the sukkah, but his table was outside the sukkah. Is that so? In the holiday of Sukkot, you're supposed to eat, do everything in the sukkah. Well, what if you're eating in the sukkah, but your table is outside of it? They had a debate about that. And another debate had to do about widows and marriage and identity, and who was allowed to marry with one another. And you can imagine, like some of the debates about who's Jewish today. This is about who is allowed to do what. And it's the kind of thing that could split apart a society. Societies have been split apart for little things, like the calendar. During Maimonides' time, the debate over how the calendar should operate and when Yom Kippur should follow almost split apart the society of the Karaites and the rabbis. So it could be really vociferous debates and very dramatic, similar to the ones we have in our society, American society, we'd say, over abortion, over gay rights, things that are just kind of hang over society and divide families and religions today. But what they said in the Talmud is that even when they had these debates that were so core and that they couldn't come to a disagreement, they still said, remember that word, Ele Toldot Yitzchak, they still said, Elu, these, ve'elu, and these, that's one time, I'm going to teach you the word. Elu, ve'elu, divarim, Elohim, ha'elohim, ha'emet. Okay, these and these are the words of the living God. Elu ve'elu divarim she Elohim emet. Okay? Truthful. Elohim Chaim, I think it is. So these and these are the words of the living God. And what did that mean? It meant that even though they were so divided, they still said, that is still the word of God. And it says about Hillel was so kind about this that he actually would quote Shammai. That even though he was always right, he still would treat Shammai's words with respect. And that's how we know an argument. And an argument that is a healthy argument, a machlochet, which is the basis of rabbinic Judaism, is machloket, conflict. It's ingrained, and it's actually healthy. It's not something that we should avoid. So I have here just some words from the rabbis, which is about the conflict and the impact. Shelley, could you do me a favor? I was ambitious. I did 30 conflicts. Look at this. I think we have enough. So a healthy conflict is called a machlochet l'shem shamayim, a conflict that is in the name of God. I have plenty more, so if for some reason I miscounted, you let me know. This is the type of conflict that Hillel and Shammai are part of. And we have it from this Mishnah, which is often called Pirkei Avot. And this is from the seminary I attended in Israel during that year 2000, Pardes, Paradise Academy. And they do a lot of work on conflict. And actually, if you're interested in ever spending a summer, they do a couple of weeks that you could on conflict resolution. So you have here, these are various teachings. A wonderful teaching from the 5th chapter, number 17. Kol machlochet shehi l'shem hashamayim sofa lehitkayem. Every conflict which is in the name of heaven is destined to endure. Things that are done like Hillel and Shammai will last. We don't wipe Shammai out. We don't pretend that there wasn't a conflict. We endure. And that which is not l'shem shamayim, which is not in the name of the heavens, is destined not to endure. But it's not just the conflict. It's deeper. And actually, it's expanded by Ravi Obadiah, who has this comment on it. He says that every conflict is destined to endure, and that means that the people engaged in the conflict will endure and will not be lost. In order to have a healthy society, one that will last, you have to have conflict. American society is based on conflict. The Constitution, you can't read documents without knowing that conflict is part of it, and we have a lot of that. I love reading the stories. Being from Philadelphia, I love reading the stories of the Constitutional Congress. So after this, the part that's not mentioned is right after that section in the Mishnah Avot. It says the two conflicts that you need to be aware of. Hillel and Shammai are an example of the healthy conflict. And Korach, which is from the book of Numbers. Korach led a rebellion against Moses. That's an example of an unhealthy conflict. What's the difference? Korach had a selfish nature, wanted to break apart society. And that kind of conflict is dangerous and divisive. Conflict that is in the name of heaven, that is vigorously argued, that is done with respect, collegiality, that is good conflict. So now you know the 5 words that you need to do. Elu ve'elu devarim she'elohim chayim. These and these are the words of the living God. So next time you're at your Thanksgiving table, I invite you to think about that, and you have a little keepsake here to remind you of what it means to be a healthy conflict. We should not be afraid of it. It's something that happens in society, and actually a problem when we don't have conflict. We have, because then we're not dealing with real issues. So Joanne, when we have conflict, good conflict. Okay, so we're going to go to the Torah service, which is on page 364. And Adam and Noah, would you like to come up and you can carry our Torah around too? Sure, I think I might have one. I have one. Oh, you want to go out there? Joanne can help you. 364 at the top. So why don't we open the ark? Everyone rise, and we'll start the prayer. So if you want to open the ark. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Udevar Adonai me'Yerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael. Perfect. Okay. So who wants to carry this? Would you like to do it now?
Yeah, sure.
Just put that below there. Okay, we're going to sing the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo Yadav. Lecha Adonai Hagedula, Hagedula B'Hatiferet, V'Hanetzach V'Hahol. Ki kol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz Adonai hamamlacha yamina hased lechol road romemu. Oh, so let's do we normally do. Yisrael ve'oraita. You may be seated. Anyone who would like to come up here for the Aliyah? We're going to be, if you look in front of your seats at the Hertz commentary, see if you can find it. It's on page 93. And we're going to read the first 3 verses of the portion. And, Adam and Noah are going to be here to help me. Is there anyone else that would like to come up for the Aliyah? You're back. You want to come? Robert? No. John, why don't you guys come up? He hasn't been up for Torah in a while. Come on, come say it, Torah. Yeah. So, John, sorry, we have a newcomer here. Barry, you want to come up? Oh, sorry. All right, so you guys want to do the Aliyah?
Sure, thank you. Baruch hu et Adonai havorach.
Baruch Adonai Barak Leolam Vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Amen. Ve'la toldo Yitzchak ben Avraham holida. Yitzchak ben 40 shana. B'chuchato et Rivka bat Betuel Arami mipadan Aram achot Lavan Arami lo liisha v'yatar Yitzchak l'Adonai v'linkoach ishto ki akara hi v'yatar lo Adonai v'tahar Rivka ishto. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. So stay up here for a minute. What we're going to do is we are going to do our healing blessing. So if you want to sit down over here, I'm going to need a Torah lifter, and we're also going to need a Torah dresser. So sit down over here for 1 minute. We're going to do our prayers for healing. So if you want to put back the book underneath, the Mishaberach is on page 371. We're thinking about Joyce Seitz, Judy Bardock, Jim Brewster, Bobby DeBruin, Saul Galina, Howard Hilfstein, Roxanne Cohn, Gail Lewis, Cindy Lieber, Bob McDonald, Joe Ostroff, Stan Polanski, Carol Silverman, Flora Snee, Deborah Sorensen, and Stephen Zoller. We have other names of people that would like? We take all those names into our heart as we sing the Mishaberach in the middle of the page. Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. Here, come sing with me. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. of body and soul. So I think Noah's going to try. Here we go. Let me move this in. We're going to rise with the Torah. We help him lift with our pinky. We lift it over. So lift it over and push down. Oops, let's get it up. There we go. And push down. Here we go. Asher Samosha, Lifnei Bnei Yisrael, we remain standing as we put the Torah away with It's a Tree of Life. Tree of life, all the whole pass to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It's a tree of life, who will pass to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Page 586, remain standing for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekenu l'yosef reshit, shehu naflot shelo asana ki haratzon, velo samanu ki mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kachenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Page 591. V'ne'emar lahaya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom ahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Let's do the curtains. If you want to get on both sides, and then we'll do the gates. So pull it clear. Just watch your fingers. Watch your fingers. No, in the middle there. Just pull it across. It's just got a Velcro on it, so it will. Watch. Maybe seated. We turn to the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598, and we're remembering those that are no longer with us. We're remembering Sheldon Benetovich, who died this past week. In our Shloshem list, Carolee Arbet, Joseph Bush, Hinda Birdman, Barbara Gardone, Galina Grinman, Dr. Leonard Horowitz, Hetty Joy Nyschuler. On our yard site list from years past, whose lights are surrounding us on the wall. Albert Barback, Herbert Bello, Bertha Broder, Adele Bronsky, Gladys Berwick, Louis Cantor, Gertrude Altman Covett, Catherine Faxstein, Morris J. Foreman, Beatrice Frank, Mildred Frank, Charles Frankie, Jacob Fry, Abraham Gamler, Natalie Glickman, Isidore Greenfeld, Lester Horowitz, Alla Kaplan, Cantor Harry Hart Kaufman, Harvey Krebs, Max Krupnick, Herbert Levenberg, Olga Liebengards, Libby Linder, Beatrice T. Lipsitz, Esther Rosenfeld Lipsitz, Ruth Malik, David Markel, Russell Nissengard, Millie Niss, Edward Piquel, Solomon Pohl, Seymour Rush, Jeanette Revo, George Rosenfeld, Helen Rosikoff, Cynthia Lee Siegel, Olivia Seldis, Bernard Sellers, Florence Sorode, Mary Shevet, Sadie Silberman Finkelstein, Ela Vroman, Louise Wasserman, Daniel Weinman, and Cy Yaloff. If there's other names, feel free to offer them. We bring all those names into our heart and all whose custom it is to rise, again, page 598, as we remember those who lit our way in our life. May their memories always be for blessing. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach irite v'yamlik malchute, v'chayachon v'yomachon v'chayed echol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'izman kariv yimru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah v'rach li'olam ulmeo maya, yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudusha b'rechu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, damiran b'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all Israel, to which we say amen. You may be seated. We usually think about Yizkor memorial services for Jewish holidays, important Jewish holidays, but I think Thanksgiving is another time when we're missing people. So we know that their souls are surrounding us and that they're with us, all those relatives that we wish were still here with us. We are going to turn to announcements, and I have Joanne in the back who wrote the announcements, but I don't see them. Where did I put them? Oh, Joanne has the announcements. There you go. That's the secret.
Shabbat Shalom. Have a very special thank you to Sue Hill, who came in during the week and rehung our curtains, and they now look perfect. So thank you so much, Sue. Very special thank you to Rabbi Alex and Paul Staley for a lovely service in honor of Shabbat. There is Torah study tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., followed by the Shabbat morning service at 10:45 a.m. And bingo will be back on Monday at 7:30 p.m. Doors open at 6:30, and Queen of Hearts is just under $4,000. Join in the fun. Please join us next Friday for our Erev Shabbat service, which will be at 7 p.m. Our annual Hanukkah Storytime and Book Fair is coming up on Sunday, December 8th at 1 p.m. at the Barnes & Noble on Niagara Falls Boulevard. Stop by and do some holiday shopping. There'll be a voucher to use from Shir Shalom, and if you use that, we receive a percentage of the sale for the religious school. And we will be providing complimentary gift wrap from 1 to 5. If you're able to help, please let me know. Save the date. We're going to have a very special Hanukkah concert featuring Cantor Frank and guest musicians. Songs from the newly released Hanukkah Nights album will be featured. Complimentary CDs for the Hanukkah concert are available through the generosity of Edward and Deborah Fine. Our annual Chinese dinner returns on Wednesday, December 25th at 6 p.m., and it's Hanukkah this year during our dinner. Please bring your family and friends. There's a flyer located outside the sanctuary. We want to wish you all Shabbat Shalom. We'd like to thank Mark Nightinger and Robert Altman for being our service greeters tonight. Please join us in the social hall for the Oneg Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Should also note, Federation's annual meeting is on Wednesday night this upcoming week, and it's at the Northtown Training Center. Very interesting space. I think they have hors d'oeuvres at 6, and the meeting is at 7. And next Sunday, not this Sunday. There's also a wonderful speaker from, if you attended any Seders, were matched as a Seder, we have the speaker coming from that. Next Sunday, the 8th, I'll actually be downtown at the Episcopal Cathedral, which is, I think, on Church Street downtown. They have a class on angels. If you're interested, the Jewish reflection on angels, I think the class is at 9:15. And I'll also be speaking at the service at 10:30. It should be interesting, and I'm so excited because it actually happens that of course this week was Toldot, but next week we learn about Jacob's ladder. So what a perfect week to talk about angels in Judaism. They do exist. All right, so we're going to conclude our service, 6:25 with Adon Olam. Yeah, surprise me. Perfect. Don olam asher malach v'terem kol yitzir nivra li'ed nasa b'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kiklot hakol Levado imlok nora vehu haya vehu hove vehu yiyeh betifara vehu echad ve'en sheni lehamshilo lehachbira beli reshit beli tachlit Velo haoz vehamisra vehu eli vechai goali v'tzorchev li b'yet sahara vehu nisi umanos li menat kosi b'yom ekra b'ya'ado avkid ruchi b'yet ishan b'ya'ira Ve'im ruchi kiviati